For part B, we're asked to do some fairly complicated calculations. So let's go ahead and get started. And of course, we're going to open up our BlueJ, click on New Class, right? So we'll have different files, one for P1A. We'll have another one for P1B, P1C, and so on. So I'm going to click on New Class and type in P1A. Oh, I'm sorry, not P1A. P1B, hit enter. We're going to open up P1B, and of course, just like in our other file, we're going to get rid of some of this code here and replace it. So I'm going to get rid of all that. I'm going to get rid of all this. And then I'm going to type in public static void main. Static void main, parentheses, string, bracket, brackets, args, parentheses. Okay, so our program's going to lie in between, and so just let me show you a few tricks that'll get you started on the next section here. So let's make a variable called num, and let's set it equal to 5. All right. Well, we can do different things. We can go ahead and say num is equal to 10. Right? What is this doing? This is creating a variable called num on line 5. It's putting a 5 inside of the variable. Now on line 7, it's saying, okay, that variable that we created earlier, let's go ahead and put a 10 inside of it. So throw away the 5 and replace it with a 10. Right? And so we can go ahead and test this out to see exactly what's happening by printing out the number variable, the num variable there and there. Right? So what's going to happen in this program? It's going to start at line 5, create the variable, store 5 in it. Then on line 6, it's going to print out the 5. Line 7, nothing's there. Line 8, it's going to put a 10 inside of num. So the 5 goes away. It now contains a 10. And then line 9, it prints out the 10. So let's see if this actually works the way we think it should. Let me minimize this window here and right click. And it does. Right? So we can store different values inside these variables. That's why they're called variables, because their value can vary throughout your program. First it contains a 5, now it contains a 10. All right? You can also do other cool things. Like you can go ahead on the right side of the equal sign and say 4 times 10. Okay? Now what's going to happen if I go ahead and run this program? Well, it prints out 40. Why? Because on line 7, it does the right side of the equal sign first, and it does 4 times 10, which is 40. And then it replaces this expression with 40. The equal sign now kicks in, and the 40 is saved in the variable num, and we print out the 40 to the screen. Right? So that's what's happening there. Up here, we don't need to place a 5 inside of num if we don't want to. We could also just create the variable. Right? This means the variable's created, but nothing's inside of it. And then when we get to line 7, we're now sticking a 40 inside of num and printing it out. Okay, great. And I could just show you that it works by running the code. Same thing. Okay. What else can we do? We could also say num times num. Right? So in this case, we would need to stick a value inside of num to get started. So up here on line 5, we're placing a 5 inside of num when we first create it. Then when we get to line 7, it's saying, okay, well, 5 times 10, it's going to get 50, and it's going to save the 50 inside of num and print out the 50. Right? So let's go ahead and run that. Give me a second here. Okay, so then it prints out the 50. All right, great. All right, so there's also other things that you could do before to calculate a value, all right? Because we have this class, it's a built-in class called math. And math is cool because you could run different calculations. Right? Let's say I wanted to store 10 to the power of 3 inside of num, right? How could I do that? I could say capital math dot pow. Pow is a built-in function. And pow takes base comma exponent. So it's going to do base 10 to the power of 3. And it's going to take that value and it's going to save it in num, and we're going to print it out to the screen. So I can go ahead and... Oh, okay. So the math.pow actually returns a double. All right. So I'm going to go and make this variable called double. I'm going to make it type double so that we don't have any errors. And then I'm going to run the program, and we get this value, 1,000. Right? And so you could change this to any number you want. You could do, if you want to calculate 10 to the power of 13, you could put 13 there, and it gives you a very large number. Right? So math.pow will calculate a power for you, like a base to any power. Okay. Another thing that math has, it has a lot of different methods you can run, right? Pow is one of them, but we could also do square root by doing sqrt, like so. So sqrt takes only one number in, so let's do square root of 4, right? We all know the square root of 4 is 2, so I'm going to run it and it gives us a 2, right? But all of us might not know what's the square root of this large number here, but we guess it's too big to run the square root. Let's go ahead and do this. But with the power of Java, it's very easy to calculate to fairly accurate precision. And so those are the two functions that you're going to, two methods that you're going to need to solve this problem. You're going to need math.pow and you're going to need math.square root in order to get your, to calculate this value here, right? The roots of the quadratic equation and store it into a variable. So good luck with that.